So we are now in the topic regarding the escape-prone inmates, but this is still under the treatment of inmates with special needs basing on the BJMP manual. So with regards to escape-prone inmates should be held in the most secure quarters, preferably in single inmate cells, and for them to minimize their contact with one another, since sometimes the more that they're conversing with one another, with the other inmates, the more that they can develop their plans on how to fulfill or on how to escape from jail. Another is their behavior and their conduct should be observed. Yes, supposedly for them to uh, monitor their activities, because sometimes inmates are using the activities as frontline while observing some ways or some escaping route for them to use when they are ready to fulfill their plans as to escape on inside the jail. Another is they should be frequently strip searched and their quarters frequently inspected. And special attention should be given to the examination of items recovered from strip searches. And the telephone calls must be restricted. Uh, with regards to the telephone call or the cell phone, because telephone is no longer being accessible as of now. So with regards to the calls, using the mobile phones, it is being restricted because sometimes with the use of their relatives, their plans are being developed. Sometimes no is sabihin na, pagdadalaw ka, magdadala ka ng ganito, ganito, ganito. Gagamitin ko yun pag ready na yung plan ko na mag-escape dito sa jail. Another is special attention should be given unto them, especially with the recovered items, no? Minsan kasi, example, yung spoon, pwede nilang gawin as weapon yun for them to, weapon or tools that can be used to cut something or ganun, no? And that can be used or that can be as a tool that will help them in fulfilling their plans when they're going to fulfill their plan as to escape. And they should be frequently strip searched for them to confiscate the tools or some uh, maybe not only tools or some plans na example drawing or some observed rote areas na pwede niyang pag-escapean and na-draw niya, na-sketch niya, some sketch, then those can be confiscated for him to avoid or for him not to succeed on his or her plan. But actually, with regards to the escape-prone inmates, usually it is being done in terms to reality ito na is, sabi ko kanina, this is from the manual versus reality. So, basing on the experience of some jail officers, escape-prone inmates usually being done during the travel of attending some hearing or the trials at the court. So, usually, pag nasa daan na sila, usually doon mismo fino-fulfill ng inmate yung mga plan nila, which is to escape. But as to inside the jail or prison, usually hindi naman daw sila ganon that has the aggressiveness to fulfill their plans, usually during the travel of inmates. And aside from these escape-prone inmates, we also have here inmates with disabilities. So, inmates with disability should be regarded or segregated and closely supervised to protect them from maltreatment and from any abuse by the other inmates or also with the personnel and sometimes with the visitors, no? And individual case management and special activities should be developed and conducted to address the distinct of the inmates. So there are also activities that is for inmates who has disability because or I mean yes, the activities is really intended for those who has these abilities. And collaboration with other government agencies should be done to ensure that disabled inmates are provided with the service and benefits contemplated under the Magna Carta for Disabled Persons. And lastly is the two tasks related to self-care of inmates with disability should or shall be supervised and assisted to avoid potential or self-harm or accidents. So these are the proper way of handling as stated by the PGMP manuals. If in case the inmates has or the inmate or inmates has or with disability. So that's all with regards to the escape prone inmates and with the inmates with disability. If you have questions, you can ask it through our group chat or through our chat box.